Okay, it looks like everybody that's on their audio is connected. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, hi, everybody. My name is Levi Johnson. I am the director of the TTU Center for Transformative Undergraduate Experiences. And then I've got my sidekick, Ms. Ryan Bain, who is our administrator for undergraduate research and events. And on behalf of the two of us with True, we are very proud and excited to get to help host this year's undergraduate research conference. We really appreciate all of you joining us on such short notice. So it's been kind of an adventure to get things posted and shared. One thing I wanted to give everybody a heads up on, we are recording this so that we can post this discussion to the webpage for anybody that didn't get a chance to join us on such short notice. And then the other thing is hopefully in either the email or social media or web posts from today, you saw that there will be another session on Thursday for anybody that's interested in connecting with us again. The session on Thursday will focus more on some presentation tips and things to think about when you're preparing to talk at a virtual conference. And so today, our goal is to generally talk about the new format for our undergraduate research conference this year, as it's going to be virtual, and some of our thinking behind some of the changes that we've made for this year. And then largely, we're hoping for a good chunk of this time just to be some discussion and making sure we are answering any questions that you may have. I said it once, but I'll say it one more time before we get rolling. One of the best things you can do to make sure that we don't lose track of something that you want to make sure to get answered tonight is if you can make a point to drop your questions in the chat as we go along. That way we've got a record of those. And if for some reason we run out of time or we miss something, we'll be sure to collect those questions and post answers to our webpage. So we'll be watching the chat. If you hear small children or a St. Bernard in the background, I am tuning in from my house, and so I apologize for any of that in the background, but we'll do the best we can. So first thing I'd like to do is share a view of our conference webpage and talk about a couple of things. So you should be seeing our main undergraduate research conference webpage on my screen now. And you may notice that we've got a new button here. It says new information for presenters. And so I encourage all of you after this session, sometime this week, to come and check this page out in detail. This is where we're going to be posting all the resources that we can track down to help you as you prepare for this kind of new model of our conference. We're going to try to drop all of those things on this page. And so we've got an overview of the conference. We've got some presenter deadlines, and we'll continue to add things to this as they come up. We've got information on our sessions. So there's a link to what we're doing right now here, and then for Thursday's session right there. And then right now we've got a basic description of our two session types, and that's one of the things we're going to spend some time on this evening. And then also I want to point out we have links to the review rubrics here. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to encourage you all to spend some time looking at is those review rubrics. So first off, I want to just give you a little bit of an explanation of some of the things that we've been taking into consideration as we think through the changes to this conference. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. So obviously, because of COVID-19 health concerns, consistent with lots of other things that have been going on at Texas Tech, our conference is a part of the broader Discoveries to Impact Week, decided to move entirely online this year. And some of you have already participated in virtual conferences that were hosted all over the world. Others, this may be the first time that you've dealt with this. Just to give you a kind of a view into some of the things we've been thinking about as we make some changes, we really have three priorities in mind as we work on the conference. First, we wanted to make sure that students had an opportunity to showcase their work. And so that's really one of our biggest priorities. And so we feel like by moving it online, and some of the decisions we've made, it's made sure that there's opportunities for you to show evidence of your scholarly activity and that you've participated fully in a conference, and that those kinds of things can then be celebrated and referenced as you do things like apply to graduate school or prepare for subsequent research experiences, those kinds of things. So that showcase piece is a big deal for us. Second, we wanted to prioritize trying to get you the best possible feedback on your in progress work in your projects as we possibly can. And so in previous years of our conference, some of you may have presented before, you may have gotten faculty reviews where your reviewers were from any number of academic departments different than your own. And so you could be presenting in physics and you could just as likely have had a reviewer out of human development and family studies, or the chemistry department, or British literature could be their area of expertise. And so there's definitely some professional kind of consistent things that we see in academic conferences. And so there's plenty to be gained from interacting with folks from outside of the discipline where you're doing research. But we thought that this was a good opportunity, if we were going to have to make some shifts anyways, to try to get you some high quality feedback from faculty that are actually in the disciplines where you're doing the research, or as close as we can possibly get you. And so that's a big part of some of our timeline constraints that we have going on, is that a big piece of the philosophy behind what we've put together is based on trying to make sure that we have collected from you a research presentation, either a poster or more of a paper style talk. I think we call them oral presentations in the registration form. That's kind of consistent with the norms in whatever discipline you're working in or your faculty mentor is out of. And then that we try to get faculty as close to that area as possible to review your work and to give you feedback that would be valuable as you prepare, hopefully, to then go present about that stuff at a conference that's specific to that discipline. And so hopefully, if you are a math major that's doing mathematics research, we're going to get you some feedback from folks that are actually doing research in mathematics. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with that other model, but we felt like this was an opportunity to try to get you some more focused feedback from that discipline. And so that's one of the things there. And then the third piece that we've had in mind as we kind of made some of these changes beyond the showcase and the review was just practice. And we know a lot of faculty mentors in particular recommend that undergraduate students use our conference as an opportunity to go out, see what it's like to give a poster or a paper presentation, kind of do a dress rehearsal in a friendly environment where you've got lots of undergraduate students around you, and it's interdisciplinary, and it should be a very supportive atmosphere. And then that gives you a chance to kind of get your feet wet before you go and translate that work to more of a discipline-based conference. And so same thing, we've tried to factor in opportunities for you to practice. And there's really, in our mind, two models for online conferences. There's either the model where you submit something ahead of time and it's reviewed asynchronously, or there's a model where you present live. And so we've actually tried to bake small pieces of both of those into this conference so that you get a little taste of both of those practice pieces. So that's a little bit of the background on kind of what we were thinking about as we made some basic or made some fundamental changes to the way that things are structured. So now what I'd like to do is I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and zoom in on a couple pieces of that presenter information page. And I promise you're pretty quick. I will shut up and then we'll shift to your questions. So you all should be getting emails from Ryan with specific information related to your presentation, your abstract. And so you should have gotten, when you were accepted to the conference, an email that gave you both your abstract number and your presenter number. You'll notice that for most people, those two numbers are not the same because some of our presentations have multiple presenters. Each presenter has a unique presenter number, but if you're co-presenting on the same project, you should share the same abstract number. Okay, and so that aligns to our 2 session formats. And so we have a pre-recorded conference presentation, and then we have a live impact talk that will happen the day of the conference. And so the idea is that we've asked that each student that's been accepted to the conference, or each project rather, to prepare a YouTube video that is you presenting your research in a style that is consistent with whatever is normal for your discipline. And so that could be a very brief video where you basically answer the question, so tell me about your project, as if you were standing in front of a poster and a reviewer came by and that was their opening question, right? And so it could be you basically just walking them through the different pieces of your research poster, and you could literally just display the PDF of the poster on your screen and capture that. You could break them into sections for slides on a PowerPoint and click through them. There's different formats, and we're not being restrictive at all in how you use that visual and audio space in that time. So the one constraint that we're placing is that your pre-recorded presentations are limited to 15 minutes. They don't all have to be 15 minutes. So a poster very, very commonly would be much shorter than that, and that's okay. But if you go past 15 minutes, our reviewers, we're going to tell them, stop the video at 15 minutes and evaluate what you got in the first 15 minutes of that YouTube video. Going back to our priority about practice, one of the cool things about a pre-recorded presentation is you can make as many attempts at preparing and recording that presentation as you want to make. And so you can have that as polished as you can get it. And so if you're like me and you've got tons of filler words and ums and uhs and stutters, you can script the entire thing out and get it absolutely pitch perfect. And we think that there's lots of kind of pedagogical advantages to you doing that kind of refining process. And so on my screen here, I'll go ahead and click the link. This rubric is what we'll be using for that pre-recorded video. And so in the up to 15 minutes that you've got there, you'll be evaluated on your research design and content, your ability to articulate the impact of your project, the quality of your visual aid, whatever that looks like. So it could be your poster design, it could be slides, it's going to be relative to whatever you decide, but whatever you build into your presentation should be aesthetically pleasing and should add to the quality of your presentation, right? It should help communicate whatever your message is effectively. And then presentation quality. And then each reviewer will be asked to indicate whether they think that the particular project should or should not be considered for an award. And so to kind of walk you, so I'm a uber competitive guy, and so I know a bunch of you are literally here because you want to know, what do I have to do to win, right? And so basically what you would have to do to place highly in your area is that you would need to be rated highly on each of these dimensions so each of these is out of 10 points, so you could get a total of up to 40. And then you need to be impressive enough that the reviewer says, yes, this student should be considered for an outstanding presenter award. Okay. Each of these dimensions, the reviewers will have opportunities to provide qualitative feedback to you. And so we feel like that that formative kind of feedback that can come in that space can be really helpful for you as you prepare for your next presentations. And so what we're planning to do is that we're going to give you an overview of your responses from the reviewer and then your total score. And so you'll be able to see how you were ranked by your reviewers there. So I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything on this quick overview. I see we've got some good questions coming in, but I'm going to hold off on answering those, and I'm going to give you a preview of the other format. So I'm going to switch back here. So we have our pre-recorded conference presentation up to 15 minutes. And then the other component of this is our live impact talks. And so these are going to be 3-minute sessions or 3-minute presentations that you will give live the day of our conference in Zoom. So what we'll do is we will use breakout rooms in Zoom, And each of the presenters will be scheduled for a session. There will be most likely 6 sessions scheduled throughout the day, Tuesday, March 30th. And so you'll be assigned a time and then a breakout room. And then you will present to a group of your peers and then anybody else that you want to invite that may tune in. So just like any other conference, you could have all sorts of people in the room that you don't know and don't have anything directly to do with your work or your project. But the folks that are going to be reviewing your presentation are the other undergraduate students presenting in your session. And so that is going to use a second rubric. So this is our impact talk rubric. You'll notice here, there's only one scored dimension, and that's your ability to articulate your impact to your peers. And you may want to think about this, right? Because that impact component is in both rubrics, but you may want to think about framing your impact differently to your academic audience in your pre-recorded talk than you do to your peers, a more traditionally lay audience. So my advice to you is to assume that the students that you're presenting to are all in a completely different major from you. So these sessions will not necessarily be aligned by your research area. So you could be talking to a student if, so when I was in school, I was a math major. So you're probably gonna hear lots of math examples, but it could be me presenting on math research to a history major. And so I need to think about how do I articulate the impact of my project in such a way that someone from a completely different area would have access to that discussion. And so that should look very likely as a completely different type of presentation, how you use these 3 minutes versus how you would use your 15 minutes in your pre-recorded session. Okay. The idea of having a live presentation is that you should have the kinds of butterflies and nerves and probably some technical issues and all sorts of things that are common when you're giving a presentation in a live conference setting, right? And so it should feel very different from your pre-recorded session where you have as many attempts to get it exactly the way you want. This is, you got your 3 minutes, and once your 3 minutes are up, the moderator is going to go, ding, time to move to the next presentation. Okay, so each of the peer reviewers, so you're all going to present to each other in those sessions. You'll rate each presenter on this dimension between 1 and 10. Then you'll answer these yes, no questions. So did the presenter clearly describe the impact of their research project? Yes or no? Did the presenter make their project accessible for a non-expert audience? Yes or no? Then did the presenter clearly explain how they personally were making an impact? So for instance, an example is you could be working on a research, like a biomedical research, right? Where you're working in a laboratory. And maybe the bulk of what you do on the research project right now is help with the literature review and clean instruments. So you could literally be cleaning test tubes, right? Well, what is the impact that you're making on the overall project by your particular role in that? And so, for instance, if you're doing a scientific experiment where the cleanliness of the instruments involved is key in making sure that you can trust the reliability of what the data you're collecting looks like, then that's the kind of thing that you would want to think about trying to articulate effectively to your audience in that impact section to help them understand how you personally are having an impact. Then the last dimension is, do you think that the presenter should be considered for an outstanding presenter award? Okay. And so again, it's a yes or no. So just a little bit about this last question, because it's on both rubrics. Basically, what we know is that no two reviewers are the same, right? Everybody's kind of got different benchmarks in their head for what excellence looks like. And so there's different ways to play it out. One of the things that we've seen happen before is we've gotten reviewers that are very positively dispositioned on our scales. And so they'll give straight 10s saying great, but then in the comments, they'll list that there were all sorts of concerns about the project. And so in the opposite, we've gotten faculty that have been pretty critical on the numerical scores, but then glowing in the qualitative responses. And so what we've got going here is that as a kind of way to norm some of this out, at the end of the day, once you've worked through our rubric and reviewed our criteria and written out any kind of comments that we've gotten in there on either dimension, is this the kind of presentation that you think should be recognized with a reward? with an award, yes or no? And that's what this question is used for. So we've talked about both formats. I want to point out a couple things about the impact talk because we didn't talk about as much of that before I launched into the rubric, and then I want to address some questions from the chat. So the 3-minute presentation in Zoom breakout rooms, and the deal is you get one slide. And what we're asking is when you submit your YouTube video on March 8th, so that we can circulate it for the faculty review, you also submit your one slide for your impact talk at that same time. And what that will allow us to do is to get everybody's slides organized so that the moderators for each of those sessions can run the slides, and we're not having to trade off sharing screens and fighting with some of the headaches on Zoom. We can have all of that ready for you in those breakout sessions. And so on March 8th, which I believe we've got highlighted, yes. So March 8th is your next big deadline for our conference. You need to have both your pre-recorded YouTube presentation and then the PDF of your slide ready by, I think, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what we said was that it's due at like 11:59 p.m. on March 8th. So right at the end of the day on March 8th.
That's right.
Cool. And so for that, what we're going to ask you to do is submit a link to your YouTube video, which I know we've already got some questions about, so we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But so you'll enter the hyperlink so that we can find your YouTube video, and then that you would upload your PDF of your one slide to that form. So we've got a form ready, so when it's time, you'll be able to go online, fill out your presenter information, and then submit the YouTube link and the PDF file for your slide. If there are two presenters, and it looks like we're already getting a question, so perfect timing. If you've got two presenters, what will happen is you will compose one YouTube video. So you can co-present in whatever fashion makes sense for your particular circumstances. We ask that you please continue to stay committed to all of the common sense kind of safety considerations around this kind of stuff. So if you need to present wearing masks and, be socially distanced from each other, or have someone, record a part of it and then the other one record another part and stitch the video together, there's all sorts of ways you could do it. But we ask that everyone stay safe through this whole process. But there's one YouTube presentation for each abstract. For the impact talks, each presenter will be required to give an impact talk separately. So for 3 minutes, the expectation is that each of you should be able to talk about the impact of your project, of your work, and that should be your 3 minutes. And so you could be talking about the same project as your partner, but the impact talk could look completely different. You could develop the impact talk together, and you could try to memorize the exact same script and see how that goes. So how you approach that impact talk is completely up to you, but you will be evaluated individually on the impact talk on how you perform. Okay. So I'm going to start scrolling back through and working on questions in the chat. And then we'll catch up. So Jake says, I'm just curious about uploading to YouTube. So I believe we've already provided a little bit of information about how you might go about producing your YouTube video in one of the emails that went out. But in general, my understanding of the process, and kind of a simplified deal, and if you have a specific problem, feel free to contact our office and we'll do everything we can to help you, is that you need to create some kind of a Gmail account, a Google account, so that you can post content to YouTube. Once you've got that, you can record your video in any number of ways. And then under that account, if you sign in on youtube.com, you can upload your video, and there's a place to put a title and a description and other metadata related to that. You can also control the publicity or the public, whether it's public or private, on that video and at that upload stage. You control all of that. You just need to make sure that the video that you prepare and that you submit the link to is not so locked down that it has to have a password, or that individual rights have to be given for someone to view it. So you're welcome to do that private view where someone has to have the direct link and it doesn't show up in YouTube searches. And if you have any concerns about If, for instance, your research project is related to something that involves grant funding that has special restrictions on it, feel free to contact us and we can make sure that we get that all arranged exactly the way we need to protect you and your faculty mentor on those. But in general, for 99% of you that don't have a special circumstance, you would create an account if you don't already have one. You would record the video. You could use your phone. You can use equipment that you can check out from the library. We even have a couple cameras at True. If we needed to try to help connect you with resources and you've got concerns about that, feel free to contact our office. But you create the video, you upload it to YouTube. You make sure that the privacy settings are such that when you share the link with us, anybody that we give that link to will be able to access it. And then we will use that link then to circulate the video for faculty review. And then unless you tell us that there's a reason that it needs to be restricted access, we'll also use that link to compose our project archive, which will be shared publicly so that anyone that's wanting to see what's going on in undergraduate research at Texas Tech will have a chance to scroll through and review all of your projects. William says, I tried registering for Engaged Scholarship Symposium, but when I last checked a week or two ago, the dates were from last year. Is registration open? So
I put the link in the chat.
Awesome. So the answer is yes, the registration is open. So the Undergraduate Research Conference is a part of what we call Discoveries to Impact Week. One of the other components of that Discoveries to Impact Week is the Regional Engaged Scholarship Symposium. That registration is actually managed through the DTI website now. It's all consolidated. So my understanding is that the Undergraduate Research Conference is the only part of DTI Week that has its own separate abstract setup that you've been navigating. Everything else is through that DTI page. And Ryan, I know that if people joined late, they can't see the chat that happens before them. So if you don't mind dropping that DTI link in the chat one more time, that way everybody that's here has that access to that. But the DTI page, I know the registration link is live, and you're welcome to go ahead and register for the ESC stuff there. Let's see here. I think it's Leanne. Question is, what are the expected differences between the pre-recorded conference presentation for an oral presenter or a poster presenter, as in the differences for those accepted as oral or poster presenters? So the difference is whatever you make it this year. So in traditional face-to-face conference years, the URC has actually separated the posters and the oral presentations into separate sessions. They happen at different times, necessarily because you've got a big room with 100 posters, and then you've got oral presenters that need slides and stuff, and so they have different needs. In this case, everybody is submitting through a YouTube recording. Now, I will say, if you've got a poster, one thing you might want to do is actually post a link to the PDF of your poster in the description of your YouTube video. So if someone viewing your explanation of your poster wants to, they could actually open it like in a PDF format and zoom in and look at the poster in the same way you would in a poster session room, where I can stand up and just kind of stare at your poster for a while before we ever interact. And they're not restricted to just the presentation. But so you've got a lot more flexibility in that basically you've got 15 minutes and you've got that YouTube video to leverage however you think most effectively represents and communicates your project. Our reviewers are not going to be given separate instructions for poster presentations versus oral presentations. They'll be aligned by discipline, and they'll be they'll be asked to provide feedback that's appropriate based on their expertise in the area that's aligned with where you're presenting from. And so that's one thing to keep in mind there, is just you basically use that 15 minutes however you and your faculty mentor feel is most appropriate. And that poster and oral designation this year really doesn't have a big impact on any of our operations on our end. Other than we will make sure that the reviewers all know that I think it's just like a normal year. The overwhelming majority of our students submitted as posters. And so those presentations are likely going to be shorter than 15 minutes because you don't normally have a 15-minute talk prepared when you're talking about a poster. So that's what we've gotten the most questions about so far by email that I've seen is, wait a minute, I submitted as a poster, but you want me to prepare a talk. And the response that I've been trying to be consistent about giving is, we're not asking for a 15-minute talk, but everybody that does a research poster at a conference should be prepared to answer the question, so tell me about your project, and to talk for a short amount of time as to provide an overview of the project. And because our review is asynchronous and the faculty won't be there to probe you and prompt you with questions, you need to kind of think about the kinds of things that you would want to make sure to convey to a reviewer in a poster session. But there's no pressure that it needs to be a 15-minute prepared talk. And so I know it is not a perfect analogous situation to an interactive poster presentation. That's really going to kind of bleed into the impact talks, where you've got more interaction and there'll be time for questions, and it's kind of focused on more of a give and take there. But that was what we felt like was the best mechanism we could do for giving the faculty members time to sit down and review a number of those projects, because there are going to be some faculty members that we're asking to review a significant number of projects, just because we have so many of you in similar content areas. All right, let's see, Disha, how do we sign up for the impact talk time? Like, when do you find out what time our 3-minute talk takes place? That's great. So just like our other our face-to-face conference, we've told you that the impact talks are going to happen on March 30th. We won't assign those slots until we see how many of our projects actually submit the YouTube video and the slide on March 8th. And then one of the things we go into working on in that gap in between there will be organizing those sessions. And so as soon as we've had a chance to organize those sessions based on the submissions on our March 8th date, we'll get back to you. It is our plan to, just like a normal conference year, to provide a letter that would explain that this is an excused academic absence for participating in this conference during the time that you're presenting. And so we will make sure, and in fact, Ryan, I don't know that we've submitted the request for that letter this year. So if you don't mind making a note, we need to make sure that we've got those letters prepared when we assign those sessions. But the idea is that the impact talk times will get assigned by the conference, and then you adapt to that. So you know the day, but you won't know the time until we get those assignments out. Okay, Denise, if there are 2 presenters, do we both have to separately present an impact? Also, would we both be at the same breakout room? So yes, you have to both present an impact presentation to be eligible for an award. And no, there's not the expectation that you would be in the same breakout room. In fact, we will probably try to split you up so that you're not presenting to someone else that already knows about your project. Okay, Julianne, what should the impact slide consist of? Are there sample slides we can reference? So that's a great question. This may be a frustrating answer. So that, similar to the way that we're being pretty hands-off on the format constraints for the YouTube videos, we are not putting out a specific requirement for the slide. I would say, think about what is smart in that kind of a context. I think the one requirement we asked was that you have your name prominently on the slide so that your peer reviewers, Ryan, was that right?
Yes, the only make sure everyone references the email that I sent, your acceptance email. But what we put on that email is that your slide must display your name. And then there's no other specific design requirements as long as it's readable and accessible. And then as long as the slide is submitted as a PDF file.
And I just realized I've been sharing my screen that whole time. So I'm going to go back to camera here. But and then as far as sample slides, that's a great point, Ryan. If you'll make a note, the TLPDC has some templates and some other things that we can link to. I'll note that it's mostly about like making your slide look like a Texas Tech slide, if that's what you're wanting to do. There's not a best practice on what would be most effective, because depending on what you're saying the impact of your project is and how you communicate that, I could see all sorts of different things being effective. So for instance, it could just be a photograph. If you're doing research that is field-based and involves some kind of environmental conservation type angle, the most effective use of your slide could literally be a photo of the wetland that you have been taking samples from, so that you can talk about the differences between taking a sample in the middle of the swamp versus, you know, the edge or something like that. It could, if you're doing like a history talk, it could be a photo of a primary document. It could be a scan of a particular page that has, you know, some resource that you want to reference. So that's really going to be dependent on your area. Now, I encourage you to talk to your faculty mentors, because your particular area of research may have some traditions or some wisdom to share that you may want to take into consideration. But there's not a requirement on the part of our conference on how you use that. Flavio, are the impact talks essentially a summary of our YouTube submission? So that it's up to you. So you could do that if you feel like that's the most effective way to communicate the impact of your project. If it were me and I was talking about some of the mathematics research that I've done, I would give an entirely different presentation, and it would be about you know, entirely focused on how, when we talk about doing math in 4 dimensions, it can have applications to figuring out how to find the black box of a jet that exploded over the ocean. And so that would be talking about the impact of it. If I was talking about the research presentation, there'd probably be no discussion of application at all, just on the area that I is in my background. So depending on the particular project and some of those things, some may feel more like a summary of what you did for the other. Others may be an entirely different presentation. Okay, Christopher, no 2 reviewers are the same, but many reviewers are united by disciplinary affiliation and ideology. So what happens when there are 25 review sheets and 20 are submitted by STEM practitioners in either math, engineering, or chemistry, whereas 5 submitted by humanities practitioners in comparative literature, classified? Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So that's where our work comes in. So our goal is to have 2 discipline-aligned reviewers for each project as the foundation for the competitive ratings on this. And so we're still one of the problems with that is that we asked, and so feel free to go nag your faculty mentors. We asked each of the faculty mentors when they approved your abstracts to let us know who would be appropriate faculty reviewers for your project. And we still have about 50 spots where a faculty mentor didn't give us a recommendation. And so those of you that are concerned about maybe your discipline may not be well represented in that stuff, the thing you can do to help us the most in making sure that this process is as equitable as we can make it is for you to work with your faculty mentor to make sure that we've gotten strong recommendations for those reviewers. Because what happens now between now and March 8th is Ryan and I are scrambling to try to find volunteers, but I guarantee you, you and your faculty mentor know who would be appropriate a lot better than I do in almost all of these research areas. And so that's my one plug there is the quality of your review is largely dictated by the quality of the reviewer recommendations we get from your faculty mentors. And so if anybody happens to talk to their mentor and they missed that or something, feel free to ask them. Everybody should be getting emails from Ryan. So finding Ryan as a point of contact should be super easy. Please feel free to have them email Ryan with the recommendations, and it doesn't have to stop at 2 because we're filling in all sorts of holes right now. And so if they've got good recommendations, shoot them to Ryan, and please have them reference your abstract number or something so that we can make that correlation between your project and the reviewer connection there. Great question. Okay, Disha, can we use Zoom to record our presentation and then upload that onto YouTube? Absolutely, that'd be a great way to do it. Denise is confused on what DTI is. Denise, I think sometimes we all are. So to try to make it clear, the Undergraduate Research Conference has been around for this is our 14th or 15th year. 3 years ago, we partnered with 2 other conferences And now we all happen during the same week in March. And so if this was a normal year, we would take over the sub basically for this entire week. And there'd be probably 2 days focused on the undergraduate research conference. And there would be 1 or 2 days focused on regional engaged scholarship symposium. And then there would be another day or two on the Innovation Hub's Spark conference stuff. And so what we've done is we've kind of partnered together. And so almost all of those things have this one umbrella title now called the Discoveries to Impact Week. But what the Undergraduate Research Conference does is, for you all that are presenting, we have this abstract submission process that runs on its own, separate from DTI week. And so if you want to be a part of the whole continuum of activities, go check out that page that Ryan dropped the link in the chat to, and it kind of explains, and you can register for all sorts of sessions related to like entrepreneurship and getting funding for ideas and kind of business stuff. Then you get the Undergraduate Research Conference, and then you've still got that community engaged work too. And so that's all bundled together under DTI. It's just Ryan and I, we focus on the Undergraduate Research Conference part of that. And so it does get confusing, and I apologize for that, but hopefully that helps a little. Jake, is the PDF slide kind of like a poster with all of our research? So you could do that. Keep in mind, we're in a Zoom call like this, right? So if you make a gigantic research poster that's got, tons of tables and charts and things, it may be that the writing on it is so small that it's hard for your peer reviewers to be able to digest it. And then also, you've only got 3 minutes. So I would encourage you to scale back whatever you present, both verbally and using the slide, and that you would focus on specifically that you would focus on the content related to impact. Sorry, got an email bleep that distracted me. So hopefully that helps there. Elizabeth, could you send an email of the templates? I tell you what we'll do is we will add it to our presenter information page sometime tomorrow. Ryan will make sure to chase me on that. And so I encourage you to check out that page. We probably won't send out, we're trying not to spam everybody, so we probably won't send out another separate email, but we will add that the link to those templates there. Flavio likes my explanation. Awesome. Like to say, okay, so Christopher, I think Levi would like to say that the only way we can successfully communicate our research is by following piercing EG. Should we have a bunch of slides which have scrolls on them to connect our ideas? That I'm not sure that I understand the question, Christopher, unless you're just making a joke that I've done some research with EG stuff, and if so, that's cool. But honestly, to try to get at the heart of if that's a serious comment, there's no presuppositions about the way you format or structure this. You need to just think about what's most effective. Now, there's undoubtedly some gamesmanship involved here, right? So if you're thinking about presenting to faculty members that are connected to the discipline where your faculty mentor and those kind of things are, there are some things that they probably expect to see you do in a presentation. I would take that into consideration and try to play to that. Or know that you may not get rated particularly highly and you may not win an award, and that's okay too. And so as you develop as academics, you're going to find there are times where you'd rather kind of stick to your guns and advance a particular ideal or agenda, and that you can engage the academic community in a way, but you may not win an award, and that's absolutely okay. But if you're like me, I'm pretty competitive, and if I have a choice and all else being equal, and I don't feel like I'm violating any kind of like ethical or moral convictions about these aspects, if I have a choice there and want to lean on what I think is going to make me most competitive for winning the award, then I'll probably do that. But scrolls are never a bad thing. All right. Okay, cool. So I think, Ryan, did I make it past all the questions?
Yes, you got all of them.
Sweet. So anybody else? Okay, I'll watch the chat, but let me give just a kind of quick recap of a few things that I hope you take from this session. So I'm going to share my screen again for a second. So if you go to the Center for Transformative Undergraduate Experiences website, I think our URL is the easiest thing to remember here, which is just true.ttu.edu. So here's our homepage. Right at the top, we just dropped a big button for the conference. And other than that, for whatever reason, our website seems to be really slow today. So this is basically a quick overview of the conference. You'll notice there's a link to our Zoom session right now. So we'll take that down right after we're done here, and then probably replace it with a link to the recording as soon as we get that posted. And then here's where you would click to join our session on Thursday. And then either here or same big red button takes you to the presenter information. And so between the emails that you've already received from Ryan and then what we've posted here, we hope we've given you enough information to be dangerous as you prepare. And so you can use these links to kind of jump around the page. We'll say on Thursday, Matt Saldana he works with the Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development Center at TTU. And the program is called the PACE program that he represents. He's going to be with us on Thursday. And so Ryan and I will be around to answer if there are any conference specific questions that have come up between now and then. And then Matt will highlight some things to think about as you prepare your presentation for a virtual format, and some things that you may want to incorporate to make that as compelling and as effective as possible in that context. And then depending on interest from students and program partners, we may add another info session if folks feel like they didn't get what they needed out of this recording. And so we'll keep adding to this page. It's a work in progress. And then again, I think the key for a lot of you is going to be to look at the session descriptions here, and in particular to review those rubrics, and then let us know if you have any questions on how to interpret or navigate those rubrics, because those will be what will be used to tally up the ratings for our presentation awards.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
So I don't think it was discussed, but as far as the Zoom video, as Levi said, you'll present your impact talk for 3 minutes. And so each student that's in that breakout room will present their 3-minute talk. And then the last 20 minutes will be a Q&A session for anyone that's in the room. And so each student that presents during that 1 hour, you'll want to make sure that you're there the whole time. And so whenever we send you that time closer to the conference, it will give you the full hour time that you'll need to be on Zoom, so that you are able to make sure that you review all of your peers, and then stay for that Q&A session as well.
That's a great point. And so just to be clear, to be eligible for an award, you need to submit the YouTube video for the research review by March 8th. You need to submit your PDF of your slide, and then you will need to give your talk on March 30th. Excuse me. And then you will need to participate in your full hour session as a peer reviewer that whole time. So if you popped in, gave your talk, and then left, you wouldn't have submitted your sheet of peer reviews. And so we would know that you didn't participate in that full session. And so you would be ineligible for a presenter award. And so that's that kind of continuum of participation that would be required for you to be eligible to win an award. Is you would have to present or co-present on that YouTube video that's pre-recorded, and then you'd have to be a full participant in your 1 hour session for your impact talk. And then by participating in all of that, that makes you eligible to win an award. And so then after that, once you've ticked those boxes, then we move to the ratings off of those rubrics. And we've already heard from a number of folks, both in the community and around campus, that are excited to tune into those impact talks and get a chance to ask questions after viewing your videos ahead of time, right? And so that's what the other piece of this kind of idea is, that you submit these videos so folks can review them before the conference, and then if they find a project that's compelling, then they can find you on our schedule and they can drop into that breakout room, hear your impact talk, and then participate in that Q&A period. And so we hope for some good engagement around all that. I get a little intimidated when I have to do these Zoom presentations, and I appreciate everybody's patience and professionalism. These are your great questions. You're obviously very thoughtful students. We're serious when we say we want to support you and do anything we can to make you successful. And we know that this transition to a virtual format is not going to be perfect and that there are going to be issues. And so we are bending over backwards to try to do everything we can to take care of you and give you the best experience we can. And also to give you legitimate practice at the kinds of hurdles and things that you're going to encounter with other conferences, but hopefully with a friendlier face or a voice on the end there. If you come up with any other questions, feel free to shoot us an email or join us on Thursday or both. We'll post this recording, and if you want to share that with anybody that wasn't able to be here tonight, feel free to do that, and we'll go from there. We'll kind of go from there. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember it, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So we'll hang out until 6. And so if there's any other questions, it's great. But I see folks are already kind of dropping off, and that is a-okay too.
Thank you very much for your presentation. If I had to submit one of the things that would have good marks.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having your camera on. It's nice not to just talk to black boxes.
I agree. All right, we'll see you.
All right, have a good night. This is gonna be my favorite part of the recording. Just me yawning on camera. Thank y'all.